Now, speaking from my frame of reference as a guitar player, I often feel like ukulele has this reputation of being kind of a simple instrument, like, just pick it up and play like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? Like that's kind of I feel like the perception it has, but it's really cool with you because when I watch you play, I really feel like you almost kind of approach the instrument like a guitar. Like you're doing stuff where I'm like, I get what he's doing there. So, how did you develop your style of playing?
Well, no, what you said, I think is absolutely true. I mean, there's so much truth to that, and I think that's what really drew me to the instrument. Is that it was so easy to play, and you get that instant gratification. Because, like you said, you can just pick up the instrument and immediately start playing chords, and there's so many chords that you can play with just one finger. You can just hold one finger, one string down, and you can play a full chord, and that's so satisfying, right? So I think that's why I stuck with the instrument, because from the very beginning I could do it, and I was like, wow, I'm actually playing an instrument. I think that resonates with a lot of people, that kind of especially if you don't have the patience to really sit with the instrument and take lessons, and you have to read notation and all of that. I think in the beginning, picking up the ukulele for someone who just wants to do it just for fun, I think it's the perfect instrument because, like you said, it's so easy. It's very simple to play, and then the more you play, and as it gets easier and easier, then of course you gravitate towards something a little bit more challenging, like learning a new chord or how to hold a different chord quality or something, and you're like, oh, okay, okay, this is a little challenge, but you keep working on that, and then you just keep building. And like, so for me, I always just had this curiosity where I wanted to keep diving deeper and deeper. So as the things I was working on at the time got a little easier, then I would try to find something that was just a little bit out of my comfort zone and work on that until that became comfortable. And then once you're comfortable again, then you try to stretch yourself and reach a little bit out of your comfort zone again. And I think that's what really kind of kept me going, And I think I never had that pressure to try to rush and get to a certain point, in a short amount of time. I just kind of took my time with it and enjoyed the process, and I think that's what I'm so grateful for, and all of those things like not only brought me so much joy in my life, but it's also opened up so many opportunities, and I met so many wonderful people, and have developed great friendships, along the way, all because of music, and so that's just been so yeah, I've just so much gratitude, for all of that.
For sure. Yeah. And, of course, the reason we're talking today is because you have a brand new album coming out, which is called Blues Experience, which you did with the great Mick Fleetwood. And I actually want to go back a little bit because a couple years ago, you did an album called Jake and Friends, which had a ton of big name people on it, like, Warren
Mhm.
Haynes, Willie Nelson, Jimmy Buffett. And so you've been on this run of getting these big people to play on your records. So, like how do you go about working with these people and setting up all these recording sessions to have these amazing special guests on records like this?
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate. I mean, you mentioned Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett has in the beginning of my career, he really took me under his wing and introduced me to so many people. I mean, half the people on that record, Jimmy introduced me to them. So between Jimmy Buffett and Mac McAnally, and my manager Van Fletcher, and just people that I've met along the way. Ray Benson, who's also from Asleep at the Wheel, he's also on the record, and he helped me to produce the record as well. And so, I mean, that he knows everybody. And I remember when we first talked about this project, Ray Benson said, he said, I got to get you, together with Willie Nelson. And I was like, what? And then next thing I know, he called him. He just called him on the phone and explained the project to him, and Willie said, all right, I'm in. And so that was the first track that we recorded for the album, and it was his iconic, Stardust interpretation. And it was just so, I was so nervous, but it was so great because it was just ukulele and his voice, and I got to stand right next to him as we recorded it. So it was like a live take, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience that I'll never forget. But yeah, I've just been, very, very lucky, just to have this support, from everyone, and all the people on that record, man. They were heavily, they were just so influential. And I grew up listening to all, their music, and they've just, yeah, they're just incredible. So it was an honor to be part of that project.